What is the true value of internet leads? Whether you're a mortgage broker, a loan originator, or a real estate agent, if you're purchasing internet leads or you're generating leads online, more than likely you are confused, discombobulated, and looking at it through the wrong lens when it comes to understanding the true value of the lead itself. I see it time and time again, myself as an originator who purchase leads, and as a coach who is coaching branch managers all throughout the country who are partnering with real estate agents in working online leads. In today's episode of the Loan Officer Podcast, JC and I are going to dissect, dive into, and discuss the real value of internet leads. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children 18 plus, you are tuned in to the Loan Officer Podcast with me, Dustin Owen, and my main man,
JC
John Coleman.
Leo, what's popping today?
It is full summer home buying season. Kids are getting out of school. Summer vacations are getting ready to commence, and we are getting ready to head out to Las Vegas, Nevada for Mastermind Summit. Yay! Yeah, super stoked. I have been working on my presentation.
Oh, yeah?
For that Thursday morning when we kick things off. The full agenda is out, by the way. So if you go to Mastermind Summit 2025, you can find the link on our website, TLOPonline.com. But the full agenda has been released. Matt Emery emailed me personally. I got to look at it. It is badass. Like, I can't wait. Like, hopefully we're going to be able to not just hang out with Jeremy Forcier, but I'm going to try to get Jeremy on the podcast. We're going to see Denise Donahue again. She and her sister Deb were out at the event last year. But this year, the mortgage nerd herself, Denise, is going to be presenting from the main stage. Hoping to get Denise on the show because she and I have not had a chance to sit down and actually do an episode. Roger Stone's coming in. So Barry Habib is bringing in Roger Stone, who's a little bit of a polarizing figure, but he is extremely knowledgeable and successful when it comes to persuasion and all of the success that he has had in manipulation of policy and pushing through a certain agenda. I would love to get Roger Stone on the show. I think people like my mom would probably be like, why'd you do that? I'm like, why? Because he's a super successful person at what he does. You might not be politically aligned with him, Mom, but he is still somebody that I think I would like to know and pick his brain, and I think it'd make great content. But anyhow, the agenda is out. There is still room for people to register. You may have missed out on all the discounts, although if you go to our website, there may be a TLOP discount for you.
Wink, wink. So
you can go to TLOP Online, go to events. You can see Mastermind Summit. Come hang out with me, JC. Doc's going to be out there. Mark's going to be out there. The whole TLOP crew is going to be out there because we're going to be offering discounts on our coaching from the event. But here's the catch. That same discount you can get right now if you call or you reach out to us through the website, because our prices, the investment that it takes to join our coaching community, goes up on June 1st.
Word.
So what we're going to do to everybody that's at Mastermind Summit is we're going to do the rollback pricing, and we're going to give them the same pricing that was available January through May. We're going to give that from the event, but we do have a price increase coming up on the 1st. So that said, after that particular event, I'm trying to think of what else I have coming up. You know what? Shout out to Peter Benjamin with the with Akuma. Akuma is the credit union the Credit Union Mortgage Association. They just booked us, so you and I are heading out to Detroit. No, we're not. We're going to Denver.
Let's go.
We're going to go to Denver, Colorado in September. Oh, this is really cool. I just connected with Justin over at United Wholesale Mortgage, UWM. So I get to fly up to Detroit in 2 weeks. Probably by the time this drops, I'm going to be in Detroit, and I'm attending UWM Live. So I get to hang out with all of our mortgage broker friends who are going to be attending. They have like big speakers like Matt Ishbia himself and Bill Belichick, maybe with or without the girlfriend. I don't know.
Jesus Christ.
But I'm going to do a podcast with UWM, except for this time, I'm the guest. I'm going to be on their podcast. We've already had members of their team on
Baydoun,
ours. Alan, Desmond. Yes. Yeah, we've had some.
Make sure you stop by the GM plant or wherever you get your Ford car manufactured so you could bitch on them and why it died when you had 200 miles on it.
I would need to bitch to them about how loud my Ford Explorer is. Probably the loudest vehicle, John, I've ever owned.
Come on back over to the luxury vehicle.
I'm going to have to. Like, literally, you would think that there was a hole in the floorboard for as loud. It sounds like I'm in a wind tunnel when I'm driving my Explorer. And what sucks is I love my Explorer. I got the ST. It's fast. It's 400 horsepower. Except for that spot where the lady keyed me at the Orlando Airport parking
really close
lot.
to people.
I'm not a good parker. That's
All right,
a
well,
true
I think
story.
we need
By
to-
the way, I got one more.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry, John, I cut you off.
It wouldn't be the first nor the last, Dustin, but
It
go
will
ahead.
definitely not be the
Jeez.
last. I apologize for every time that
Don't
came
be
before
sorry,
this.
be better.
I'll work on it, John. I promise you. That's what I tell my wife. 22 years in a marriage, I will work on it. No, we are definitely also going to Wisconsin.
Oh, can it do the Packers game?
I don't know, but it's November 13th.
So we're going to the home opener.
November 13th. Well, the home opener will be in more than likely September.
Homecoming doesn't matter. We're going Lambeau
but,
Leap.
But I don't know if you're invited to this one. But I mean, I have to ask them. Look, the people in Michigan wanted you there. The people in Michigan's were
next
like,
to Wisconsin. They share the Great Lakes.
all right. Well, anyhow, we've already booked out for the NBA of Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also speaking. I always forget about my homeboys, my hometown,
What's that?
the Florida NBA. So I'm actually going to do a panel in June. In June. So the NBA of Florida has their annual sales conference, and theirs is always a double. So it's annual sales conference plus it's a secondary conference. So it's a 3-day event. It's in St. Pete Beach this year.
Oh,
So
what hotel? Don Cesar?
I don't know what hotel. Yeah, look it up. Go to mbaf.org. John F.
Okay.
Florida. mbaflorida.org.
I get that and FAMP mixed up.
Oh, yeah, .org. But yeah, I'm going to do a panel that's going to be moderated by our girl, Michelle Mendez with ArchMI.
Oh, shout out Michelle.
I know I'm on the panel. I'm super excited about this. Robbie Chrisman. So not Rob, his son, who's starting to take over and do a lot of stuff with Rob's audience. Robbie's going to be on the panel too. So I'm excited to be able to share the stage with Robbie and also get to know him.
There you go.
I'm sure there's another panelist, but I just can't remember his or her name.
Probably not.
But the NBA of Florida is doing an event. I will be there. It is in June. I think like June 11th, 12th, and 13th. So you can check that out. I always forget about them. I don't mean to. It's just like that's the organization that I'm involved in. So my whole career I've been like doing stuff for them. But it's unique when Michigan or Texas or Akuma or even Wisconsin reach out and they want us to come do events with or for them. That tends to be a little bit super special because it's what's new and what's unique. And look, if you're interested in partnering with TLOP, whether it's to have us come do a workshop for you, whether it's to have us speak at your event, or you're looking for some kind of an enterprise relationship with business coaching and sales training, maybe you want to sponsor our show or advertise with us. All of that information, all those inquiries can be done at our website, tloponline.com. Speaking of show sponsors, let's go ahead and take a quick pause so John can slide in a quick word about today's show sponsor. What's the number one value in business coaching in all of America? Well, simply put, it's TLOP's originator coaching. If you want more information about how TLOP can invest in your future success, go to our website, tloponline.com. That's TLOPonline.com. Click the link for our coaching session. See all of our products that we offer. And if you have questions or you want to have a one-on-one with one of our TLOP team members, go ahead and book your free 20 minutes with us and let one of the TLOP team members help you decide which of our business coaching and sales training would work perfect for you. All right, so now that we can jump into it, there's about 17 people who are pissed off that they had to fast forward 7 minutes to get to this part. Internet leads. Let's talk about them.
You know I used to sell internet leads.
You didn't sell shit.
You
were employed to sell.
Yes,
Did you ever consummate the relationship with an actual transaction?
No, I was able to transfer them to the closer, but I never closed. I had like 2 transfers my whole 3-4 week stint at that company.
Okay.
Subprime leads, selling them to JD Buywriter in Arizona. That was my market. Calling from Florida. You can imagine how that went, Dustin, out of college. Yes. So I know all about subprime leads and fielding shitty leads off the internet. So hit me with the best questions. I can really.
Good news, subprime is dead.
That doesn't exist anymore?
It doesn't exist.
Oh, you're not allowed to call them subprime? Is that like
well, we call them 9QM, but it's at least a little bit higher quality than what subprime was. Right? Subprime was supposed to be, hey, yo, you don't qualify, but I still got you. Right? Like that's what subprime was. That's what 9QM is, but it's still higher quality.
Okay.
They're still better quality loans. that make a lot more sense to do, like common sense. So here's the deal with internet leads. And I just coached this to one of my branches. And this is part of one of my most recent presentations. It's like, how do you take one piece of content and turn it into 5? That is our job as a professional salesperson, an entrepreneur, a marketeer, master networker. How do we take one piece of content and turn it into 5? Which is what you and I have mastered over the past 5 years of podcasting. So I was sitting with one of my branch managers, and one of my branch managers is working with our marketing agency. They're going into local real estate brokerages, and they're offering a partnership where they're going to help launch a landing page, run online ads, generate leads, and then collectively work those leads and convert them into loans. So I started with this particular branch manager, 2 of his real estate brokerage owners and the marketing agency. And I said, I love what you're doing because I want to take the success we're going to have. And this is what my division over at Lower is going to be doing. We're going to take these 2, we're going to incubate them, we're going to figure it out. And once we have proof of concept, we're going to spread this amongst 5 or 6 different markets, right? Because I want to be that lender that brings value to my real estate partners. I want to be that lender that is truly embracing the online, offline lead gen world, right? I love what's tried and true, which is the face-to-face, personalized realtors, builders, financial advisors refer me, my past clients refer me, I'm great, etc. But there's a certain component of, but I have to still show up online, and there's value to internet leads. The problem is that I'm learning from working with branch managers, working with real estate agents, is that they don't know how to value them. That's what today's episode is all about. So it's my way of taking one piece of content, which was an in-person meeting with a loan officer, a marketing agency, a real estate brokerage, and 2 realtors. And I've already coached this to the men and women that are members of TLOP Originator Coaching. They got this like live one-on-one, they could ask questions type stuff. And it wasn't really one-on-one. It was like 60 of them on the call, but 6 of them raised their hands and had questions. All 60 were taught this. And today we're going to podcast about it at a very high level. And where people get internet leads wrong is A, they don't understand that it's a cold lead and that it requires a different type of incubation. Right, John, if you're referred to me by your realtor, that's a warm lead. Like your realtor said, hey, call Dio. He's really good at what he does. I trust him.
Yeah, look him up.
I get your name. I get your phone number. I have your email address. Even if you look me up and you don't find anything, shame on me that you didn't find anything. You were still referred to me the right way. I typically have to call you and text you. And by that time, you and I have already connected. And I'm like, woohoo, that's awesome. Like 2 attempts. I got John on the phone. We scheduled an appointment. Let's rock and roll. Well, when it's a internet lead, that doesn't work that way. There is no warm referral. There is no trust built. Therefore, the first thing that they do wrong is they don't know how to work them. Now, that is not for today's podcast episode, but that's just a added bonus or like a little side note that, look, when you are generating leads online or purchasing internet leads, it takes a whole separate type of incubation, a separate type of sales funnel. Like you should be, the minute that lead comes in, touching them 3 times within the first 3 minutes. That's a phone call, a text message, a phone call, and then maybe an email.
Now, when these leads come in, are they like, people trying to win a free cruise? Are they people with name, first name John, last name no, address, get away from me? Like,
hopefully it's not win a free cruise. But yes, they are people that somewhere around along the lines, they saw an ad, they went to a landing page, and they said, I want more information about buying a house. Or I want more information about buying a house, and I want to talk to a lender. Yes, you get plenty of Scooby-Doos. You get plenty of people that are like, who are you? I didn't do that. I'm like, yeah, you did. Well, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't mean to. Okay, cool. Like you get plenty of those. Like that's what I think the traditional loan officer or mortgage broker doesn't understand. And again, that's not for today's episode. I just want to throw that out there that first and foremost, if you're going to work these leads, you got to know how to work these leads. And it's a little bit different. But understanding the true value, I want you to understand this is not I spend $10, I receive $50. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of advertising that's how it has to work, right? For every dollar out, I need $5 in. And if I do so, then I can run a productive and profitable business. And if you can run it for every dollar I spend, I get 5 in return. Awesome. But I think this is where real estate agents and mortgage originators get it wrong. That's not how our clientele works. It's not how our industry works. I need you all playing a game of chess, not a game of checkers. I need you playing the long game. It's a marathon and not a sprint, right? All those cliches that we constantly spit out. So once you understand that it's not necessarily for every dollar I spend, I get 5 in return, then let's figure out what it really means. So I like to first talk about what is my cost to acquire a customer, not to acquire a lead, right? I can go spend $50 and I can acquire 50 leads and I can say, oh, my cost per lead is $1. I'm winning.
Yep.
But if all those leads suck, if all those leads are Scooby-Doos, if all those leads are like, I thought I was getting a free cruise and you're talking to me about a mortgage, then it doesn't matter my cost per lead. It's my cost to acquire the customer. In my rule of thumb for the branches that I operate, 25 basis points. I am willing to spend 25 basis points to acquire a customer. A customer is a closing. And the reason why, so in Central Florida, where I operate one of my largest branches, let's say their average loan size is $300,000. It's actually a bit larger than $300,000, but let's just say it's 300. Nice round number. That lets me know that my cost to acquire that customer is $750. Cool. That gives me a baseline. I know that for every $750 I spend, I should acquire a new customer. If I spend $1,500, that's 2 extra customers. When I go out and partner with real estate brokerages or individual real estate agents, I understand and I can explain to them that that's when I'm looking to acquire a customer. Now, if it ends up being more than that, I can still get comfortable with it. I can maybe be comfortable with all the way up to 50 basis points, $1,500 to acquire a customer because I'm playing the long game. And what I mean about the long game is this. I know that, John, for every loan that I close, more than likely there's a listing agent on the other side that I don't know. So although I may have acquired that customer not for $750, although that's my goal, that is my number, 25 basis points of my average loan size. That's what I want to do to acquire that customer. And I'm going to circle back and talk more about that in a second.
Okay.
But if I spent $750, or if I doubled it and I spent 50 basis points, which is $1,500, I know that I got that person closed. That person's happy. That person allowed me to introduce myself to another listing agent. That person had a buyer's agent who now has had a chance to work with me. And that buyer's agent is going to refer me other business, not just the business that we generated through that internet lead or that online advertisement. That borrower has friends. They have neighbors. They have coworkers. And if I'm any good at my job, I've been asking for referrals. I don't have to pay $750 or $1,500 to acquire their friends, their family, their coworkers, or their neighbors. I don't have to pay $750 or $1,500 for the leads that the listing agent ends up referring my team and I. I don't have to pay $750 or $1,500 to the leads that the buyer's agent's going to send me. So I'm playing the long game. I'm fine acquiring one client, and even if it's for every $1 I spend, I get $1 in return. That is not ideal. I can get comfortable with it. Ideally, I want for every $1 I spend, I get $2 in return, and I don't have to spend money on all of the referrals I'm going to generate from all of the parties involved. By the way, let's say I spent $1,500 to acquire that client, right? It's a closed transaction. They're now in my database. If I'm any good at what I do, and that's a big if for y'all.
Yep.
Right? That's why you come to TLOP for coaching, because we're going to coach you how to be good.
Because most of y'all suck.
No, they don't suck. They don't know any better, John.
Sorry. Yes, some of you guys just don't know.
They haven't been exposed. They haven't surrounded themselves with the right people who, like, look, all of our coaches are top producers.
Winners.
Like, literally, Gwen Swain, Coach Gwen.
Winner.
Personally funded $10 million last month.
I don't know what that means.
It's a lot. There's originators that haven't done that for an entire year yet.
What?
She did that in the month of April, and her branch did $15 million.
What?
Yeah, where I come from, we say, pay mama.
Yeah.
Like, pay mama. So when you coach with TLOP, you got people like Coach Gwen that are saying, hey, this is what I did to get to where I am. This is what I'm doing to stay on top. This is what I'm focused on for growth. Okay, so they don't suck, John. They just haven't been surrounded by the right people, the right thoughts.
Hanging out with losers and bottom feeders. We call that catfish here in the bayou.
Okay, very good. Speaking of the bayou, we are going to Louisiana in August.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yes, I forgot to give a shout out to the Louisiana mortgage lenders.
What part? Baton Rouge?
We're going to Baton Rouge. Yes, I'm super excited about that.
Okay.
Yeah, going to go hang out with
Les Miles and the LSU Tigers.
What's that?
Les Miles and the LSU Tigers.
Possibly, but it's not yet football season. It's like middle August, not late
It's
August.
always football season in Florida, Dustin.
But I tell you what, I'm excited because I have a branch manager in Baton Rouge who's one of the best branch managers I've ever met.
Yeah.
And she and I have not met in person yet. Yep. So we get to meet in real life.
IRL.
I see her on calls all the time. She's on my coaching calls, and she and I do some one-on-ones here and there. But and I've hung out with her top producer and her top producer's husband. But Brandon and I, she and I have not had a chance to meet. So
Harris,
anyhow,
watch out, Harris.
Watch out, Harris. Here I come. Is there a Harris in Baton Rouge? That's in New Orleans?
Oh shit, there's difference.
Yeah, they're like an hour or two away.
I know nothing about geography.
Well, I'm excited about the 2 dinners I'm going to have. I bet I'm going to crush me some good old Creole cuisine.
Yep.
All right, so back on understanding the borrower aspect and coaching people to be great at their job. If I'm great at my job, then I'm probably leveraging a CRM like ADM. Shout out ADM. And I probably have a system in place that for every borrower I close, I'm asking them for reviews. Shout out to experience.com. I'm celebrating their birthdays. I am offering them an annual mortgage review. And I am being their lender for life. Which means in 2 years when they refinance, I don't have to pay $750 or $1,500 to acquire them as a client. They're already a client. I've already paid the money. So now I get to do their loan. In 7 years when they move out of that house and into the next house, guess what? I don't have to pay money to them for them to come do a loan with me. So I think where so many in the real estate and mortgage space get it discombobulated, get it confused, is that they think, oh my God, well, I spent $3,000 on leads today. I need to make sure I make $9,000 in return. I'm like, no, you need to make sure you make no less than $3,000 in return, preferably $6,000 in return. I still want an ROI. If I'm paying $1, I want $2 back.
Right.
But I don't need to pay $1 and have $5 back if I understand the long game is I am acquiring this lead today. And if I'm any good at what I do, I'm going to leverage this lead to introduce me to people that I don't have to pay to acquire. And they're going to be a repeat client or repeat customer, at which point I paid a bunch of money up front to get them, but now every time they do a new loan for me, I'm not paying money that next time.
Who should you, when you say like a loan officer should be working these leads, do you mean like me as a loan officer, I should be like working them, or should I give that to like a junior associate on my team and have them work it and like jump through other hoops and then pass it?
And then shout out to our girl Danielle Anderson. John, it depends. It depends. I mean, look, where are you in your season of life? Where are you in your career? In a perfect world, you would have a junior. Like the way that I'm setting up my branches to run this same strategies, we will have a junior. This junior is somebody who's newly licensed. They don't yet know there's a T in mortgage. Maybe they just passed their NMLS. They went through Rocky, MLS Study Buddy. They're ready to rock and roll. They're young, hungry, aggressive, but they don't know shit about loan programs and products and running AUS and reading tax returns and calculating income and all the things they need to know. By all means, I'm running a branch where I'm going to have one of those people in and they're making $15 an hour plus $25 every time they schedule an appointment for one of my senior loan officers all day. And I'm dangling the carrot that in 6 months, if they're successful there, I will promote them to junior loan officer. And 6 months later, if they're successful there, I will promote them to senior loan originator, VP of lending, whatever you want to call them, give them that fancy title. That's what I'm doing. I'm a 20-year veteran. I know what I'm doing. I have resources and I have experience. Me 15 years ago, I may have needed to be that guy who worked those leads. I had time on my hands, right? Like I wasn't generating 30, 40, 50 leads a month from my sphere of influence, from my past client database, from my realtors, etc. So I may have been willing to call them. But for most of you, no, find a who. Like literally reach out to Kyle Draper, learn more about his virtual assistant company and see if you could hire a VA through Kyle and have your VA make those phone calls.
I got a question for you. When these leads come in, how knowledgeable, say you get like a somewhat of a good lead, it's a real person. Yes, I want a real home. How knowledgeable are they? Are they like beginner, like remediate? Like I don't know, there's a T in mortgage, or like how advanced? Do you ever get like an internet lead that's actually like done this before, who's like, this is my third home, I know what I'm doing? Or are they always like basic, hey, I have $5,000 in my bank account and like a 120 credit score?
John, I'm going to tell you a story I just shared with our boy Sam up in Michigan.
Shout out my boy Sam.
Yeah, we talked about him last episode. I was on vacation, 7D Ranch, my favorite place to go.
Slice of heaven, Dustin.
And it's amazing. It ain't cheap. The people who go there are people who can afford to go.
Good, yep. Price them out of the market.
Can't wait for you and Asha to come with us. Yep. Once TLOP coaching takes off, JC's going to be there. I'm going to see you. Are you going to wear a helmet when you get on the horse?
My head is big and I look like a dark.
Please don't.
Q-tip.
Please don't. No helmets for you. We're going to get you a black Stetson.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to let you put like a little Louis Vuitton.
Get me. I'll be Louis out. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we'll do. Like a hat band. We'll get you a Louis hat band to go on your black Stetson.
Oh,
that'd be awesome. Okay. Your black skinny jeans with the rips in them. And whatever like T-shirt you're wearing and your oldest, nastiest J's.
As long as we can muck the stalls after Dustin, I'm in.
They don't let you there. Yeah, I've asked.
It's not a real experience.
I've asked. Okay, anyhow. So I'm on vacation and you make friends because you're there with like 5 other families. There's only 20, 30 of you total for the week. And I'm talking to this lady and she's like a renowned fertility specialist. So she's a doctor. She's an OBGYN, but she's all into fertility. Yale graduate. Her dad's a Yale graduate. Her granddaddies are Yale graduate.
Educated.
Like that type of.
Educated.
Yeah, that type of money. That type of background. And she was telling me, I don't know, we were waiting for dinner. We've known each other now for 3 or 4 days, spent a lot of time. So you're kind of becoming friends and having a friend conversation. And I'm just asking her questions about, growing up in her career and what she does now. And she's explaining certain surgeries and procedures. And if anyone knows this about me, like I get queasy, getting my blood drawn, like getting a little tetanus shot. I'd be like, ugh. So she's telling me, and all of a sudden, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see me do this. If you're tuning in on Spotify or Apple, I guess you have to go to our YouTube channel, subscribe so you can watch me do this. But I was like, T-Rex arms, oh my God, heebie-jeebies talking about this medical procedure. She looked at me. This is a super smart, successful, best in her career person.
Yeah.
She goes, what do you do for a living? I said, well, I'm in mortgage and real estate. And she goes, without trying to be funny. She's not trying to be funny. She's super smart. She's super successful. She comes from people that are super smart, super successful, generations behind her. So if that's her, imagine the 26-year-old, the 42-year-old. It doesn't matter who they are. Doctors, lawyers, business owners, commercial lenders, commercial real estate, financial advisors even, don't understand mortgage. They don't. Estate attorneys don't understand mortgage. They need a great lender. So yes, when you're a loan officer and you're talking to someone, if you have passed your NMLS and you stack on like Xenix Ground School, I promise you, you may have never funded a loan, but you know more than 98% of the American populace. You just do. So most times, whatever information you have for them is going to be new information. Right. And if they know, they think they know because they maybe watched us on YouTube, but they don't really know.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But good question.
I try.
Yeah, I took about an hour too long to probably answer it.
Dustin.
Yeah,
well, let's circle back to internet leads and how they can help you grow your business. And make sure you have someone. Make sure you have someone who can work the leads, preferably a junior associate. Go.
Yeah, I like to have someone who can work the leads, and I think that's a great value that you bring to the real estate partners that you have doing this with. It's like, look, I will employ someone who is going to follow a simple script, and they're going to make the outbound phone calls. You're probably going to want to build out a CRM that's specific for these types of leads. But, I like spending a little money to make a little money. I want to acquire new clients, and I'm fine if I'm not going to get rich on this strategy. And by the way, rarely for me is this my only strategy.
Right.
There are plenty of companies, this is their only strategy, right? I got buddies that use mailers.
The hell?
And that is their strategy.
Stop littering.
Mailers.
That when I get mailers in the mail, it makes me as a consumer now. Listen up, people who sell things. Why would you do that? I don't know. But when I get mailers and they're big, it makes me not want to do business with them. So it's actually counterintuitive. But
guess what? Do you think they care?
They should if they want my big.
They look at their P&L at the end of every quarter, every month, every year, and they're like, well, we're in the black again. We made more money. If they don't care about you. They care about the 2 out of 100
dummies that actually pick up the phone and call.
That actually picked up the phone and called and were taken care of. That's what they care about. Yes.
If I'm spending money on leads, say I'm good at what I do, Dustin. how much time and how much money am I investing before I know, okay, this isn't working for me? I got someone working the leads. We're knowledgeable. We know PPG, all that shit. But it's still not working. When do you think that threshold is? Hey, I've been doing this for 10 months and I spent $18,000 and I haven't gotten anything. Like, when should I like throttle down my internet lead generation spend?
I think if you can't do it for 6 months, it's not worth doing. Right? 6 months.
6 months.
Like, yeah, think about you and I starting this podcast 5 years ago. Yeah. You might not remember it because you were high that day every day.
Yes.
But I said out loud, hey, John, we're going to do this for the next 2 years.
Dos años.
2 years. Now, the whole time you're like, whatever, I might not be here in 2 months. But you didn't know me well enough to actually verbalize that.
Yeah, right.
Now that I've gotten to know you and we're friends, I was like, shit, John had literally no intentions of doing TLOP for 2 years. He was going to literally hold on for as long as that paycheck hit, and there wasn't a better opportunity.
There you go.
And thank God you didn't go out looking because you
not
couldn't be bothered.
Yeah.
You couldn't be bothered to find something better. But I came into it saying, I'm going to do it for 2 years. And I said, after year 1, if it sucks and we don't like doing it, we can stop.
Okay.
But it wasn't or. Mm-hmm. So if it sucks, we have another year to make it better. If we don't like doing it, but it's working, let's figure out what we don't like about it and change that part, right? Maybe we don't like it because it forces us to do social media and neither one of us want to do it. Cool. Let's hire a social media intern. If it's working, let's remove the things that we don't like. Maybe it was the editing that you hated doing. Let's find an editor, right? So it had to be both. We sucked at it and we didn't like do it. If you love doing it and you can see the light at the end of the tunnel, or you are, you're playing the long game, then no, like 2 years is my decision almost into everything I do. Like that's my rule of thumb. But if you're talking about an ad spend or an idea at 6 months, but it doesn't mean you abandon it. At 6 months, you try to solve for why is it not working, right? Like I have a loan officer right now that I'm coaching. He's going on all of his meetings. He's doing the 12-week challenge. He's like, but I'm not getting leads. I go, well, there's an issue. Like, what are you saying? Like, obviously, I know sales calls work.
Yeah.
I know you have to complete the 12-week challenge, but if you're not generating leads, then like I straight up asked this guy, are you bathing? Are you showered? Are you shaved? How do you look? How do you sound? What are you saying? Are you doing all the talking and not all the listening?
Well, let me ask you, does he or she fall? Does they bathe? Do they bathe? Do they look frumpy on camera? You should know. No names.
No, I don't think that they dress too casual. Okay. Yeah, right. I don't
their
think
appearance isn't like gaggly or it's like,
Yeah, and I've never had a conversation with this person and felt like, oh my gosh,
you ain't got the juice, bro. Give it up.
Yes. Okay. No, but I think they may be nervous. They may come in and just vomit all over. They start talking about themselves, about their company, about their products. And the one thing that he did say that I had to correct him, he kept on calling things deals. Like, oh man, John, when are you going to send me a deal? Hey, John, when are you not going to work a deal together? Nobody likes the word deal.
Yeah.
That's degrading. Deal? No. How about clients we serve? Right? How about families that we support? Right? How about transactions we partner on?
Yeah.
But a deal, and maybe that deal was like, man, I don't want to work with people who want deals and are looking for deals. I want to work with people who want to partner with me on a transaction or want to help one of my clients achieve the dream of home ownership. And then I had to ask this person, like, and are you asking for the referral?
Yeah.
Like, if you're not asking for it, then you can't get mad if you're not getting any leads. But anyhow, I don't know how we got on that tangent. Oh, you're asking for how long? 6 months.
6 months.
Like, I would say 6 months, preferably 12. If it's not working, you have to figure out why it's not working and then slide back to it.
Translation, it ain't working because you suck as a salesperson. Keep trying.
And then my last, there's nothing wrong with me having to tell someone, hey, you just got to get better.
Right.
Like, it's not working because you're not good enough. It's okay for you not to be good enough. It's not okay for you not to do anything about it.
Ooh.
Yeah, so just get better. Be better.
That's what I say.
Right? Be better. Like, if you're tired of your loan officers leaving your branch and going to your competitor down the road,
be better,
Be
homie.
better. Yes, it's that easy. Be better.
The secret to retention is clean bathrooms, by the way, but I digress.
That's a whole rabbit hole that I'm not going to go down. I'm not going to touch that one. But
just like
I do want to touch this, and then we can find a way to wrap it up.
Okay.
This is for my loan officers, but also for the real estate brokers and the real estate agents that are tuning in, or maybe you were shared with this content. I'm going to tell you this straight up as a practitioner. If we are partnering together That means you're spending money on leads and I'm spending money on leads. Please know that all I care about is how many clients am I going to acquire. Okay, this is very important too. So if I'm spending $1,500, I know on the low end I have to acquire one client. One. That means in my market, I'm spending 50 basis points to acquire that client. Not ideal. I'd rather spend 25. I'd rather, if I spent $1,500, acquire 2 new clients, but I'm willing to spend up to 50 because I'm playing the long game. Please know this is a loan officer speaking to a real estate broker. I don't care where the lead came from. It could be your next door neighbor who needed a refinance. It could be the seller for the home that you just listed who's moving across town. It could be the buyer that walked into your open house. Please, if I'm spending $1,500 a month on leads with you, do not think that, the only business DO is going to get is from those leads. Nuh-uh. That's not how a partnership works. I'm coming in to be your partner. I'm going to work these leads. We are going to convert these leads. We may have to build the sales funnel. It may take 6 months. But if I'm spending $1,500 a month, I don't care where it comes from. I need to make sure that I'm acquiring at least 1 new client a month, preferably 2. So first and foremost, just understand that, read between the lines. Second, how many leads do I need in order to convert into a transaction, into a client? Mm-hmm. Well, that's what you have to understand. I told people in the beginning of the show, I was going to circle back to this. I'm going to close with this. So it works this way. In today's day and age, if I have your name, your phone number, your email address, and I've had a conversation with you, I'm going to convert 20% of those people, right? Not everyone's going to qualify. Not everyone that qualifies is going to buy. Not everyone that qualifies, that does buy, is going to use me, right? That's a fact of the matter. So I know that if I talk to 5 people where I had their name, their phone number, their email address, those 5 people would convert into 1 closing. So if I'm telling a real estate agent, hey, look, I'd love to partner with you. I'm going to spend $1,500 a month. My goal is to spend $750 for every closing I have. I need 2 closings. 2 closings means I need 10 leads. 10 human beings that have a pulse, who are interested in buying real estate or already own real estate and need to refinance. I'm fine with that too. Mm-hmm. I need to talk to 10 a month. Diaz. And again, I don't care where it comes from. It could come from your open house. It could come from your listings. It could come from your circle of influence. I don't care. But as your partner who's spending this money to want to invest with you, that is what I care about. So loan originators, you need to know your numbers. And not only do you need to know your cost to acquire and what you're willing to spend and what you want, but how does that convert into how many actual talk tos you need, how many actual leads? And I think that right there is where so many people get the online lead game twisted.
Fascinating.
Yeah. So look, y'all, if you like this type of content,
something's wrong with you.
Possibly a lot is wrong with you because you've entered into a 100% commission sales job.
Yeah.
Most normal people won't do that.
Hell no.
But if you like it, I'm going to encourage you, go to our YouTube channel, The Loan Officer Podcast, aka TLOP. You're going to want to subscribe because although we drop podcast episodes on Friday and on Monday, every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, John is producing and dropping 3 additional free training videos. These training videos are sometimes 1 minute long. They're sometimes 12 minutes long. What they're not is 35 minutes long, like the podcast episodes. Podcast is our way to have fun, bring value, teach, entertain, and basically have our own talk radio show that lasts 30 to 45 minutes. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday on YouTube, that's when we give you the quick hits and the coach's corner and the mortgage school. So first and foremost, if you haven't done so already, you should check us out on Spotify and Apple. And when you're there, give us a 5-star review. Know that sharing is caring. We still believe that we are the best kept secret in the mortgage industry. Sure, we get 1 million downloads a year, but there's still too few people who know that this exists. We love doing it. We think it's good. Y'all tell us it's good. Do us the favor and share it with a colleague or a friend in the industry. If you haven't done so already, go to our website, tloponline.com. Sign up for the newsletter. First and foremost, it's free. I write it. It comes out every Thursday. We will also invite you to join one free masterclass every single month as long as you're receiving our weekly newsletter. And then finally, if you're a loan originator or mortgage broker who is in need of business coaching and sales training, but you don't want to break the bank, but you do want to learn from top producers who are doing what you want to do, join TLOP's originator coaching community. It is the number one value in the market. And company owners and trade organizations, if you'd like to learn more about how we can come into your company and do something special for you, whether it's a workshop, whether it's consulting, or it's speaking at your event, all of those inquiries can also be done through our website, tloponline.com. He is John Coleman. I'm Dustin Owen. That's all the time we have for you today, but we do look forward to catching you on the next episode. Peace.